There's a lot of talk right now about Nintendo and their relationships, or lack thereof, with emulators, specifically people who make emulators for Nintendo consoles. I'm sure you have heard about the whole Yuzu drama that has taken place over the last week or two. I've made a few videos already about it. Basically, there is a Nintendo Switch emulator, Yuzu, that was taken down, and this was by Nintendo. They just did not like it. And this has been mostly to the disagreement of gamers and of Nintendo fans. The majority of people, myself included, just really don't like that Nintendo has this power to just get rid of these really popular emulators, and that is for a lot of reasons. But like I said, you've probably already heard about all of this. What you probably haven't heard much about, and what I really didn't know much about until now, is that in addition to this sort of bad relationship that Nintendo has with emulation, they also have a very bad relationship with people making fan games or fan projects that are based off of their Nintendo IPs. Now, I'm a huge fan of fan projects of Nintendo games. I think just so many of them are so cool. I absolutely love looking up ROM hacks. Admittedly, I haven't played most of them, but I look up a lot of videos on them. Like Super Mario 64 has a huge ROM hacking community. One that I have played, I remember, was called Super Mario Star Road. That is a fantastic ROM hack. And if you don't know a ROM hack, or a fan project ROM hack, it is basically a completely new game that a creator or a group of creators make with the assets of some old Nintendo game. And though I'm into Super Mario 64 fan projects, there are so many other communities of fan projects out there for Nintendo games. A very popular one being Pokémon ROM hacks. Now, actually, about a month ago, I kind of went down a deep dive of Pokémon ROM hacks. I didn't really know it, but yeah, there are a ton of them. Some actually look like fantastic. I mean, they are full-fledged games of their own. Well, like I said, Nintendo does not have a great relationship with these fan projects, specifically Pokemon fan projects. They have a history of taking them down. So one that I looked up was called Pokemon Uranium. That was a huge Pokemon fan project. It was a ROM hack of what looks like Pokemon Gen 3, so Pokemon Emerald. And believe it or not, I think it's actually a Pokemon game that's based off of like a nuclear bomb or something like that going off, and it infects a bunch of Pokemon. Kind of a dark backstory, but I mean, it's a fan project. So whatever, they didn't have to slap the rated E rating on there. So it definitely looks very cool, but this is an example of many fan projects that have actually been taken down by Nintendo. So this game, from what I can find anyway, has been taken down. I think it was taken down all the way back in 2016, actually. So my point being, this happens a lot with these fan projects of Pokemon. And so why I'm talking about this now, what caught my attention of this whole thing, is that a former lawyer, a former legal executive of the Pokémon Company, actually recently sat down for an interview. So in this interview, the interviewer asked this lawyer, whose name is Don McGowan. The interviewer basically asked Don, hey, what is your thought process that goes behind taking down a Pokemon fan project, since there are hundreds of them, or probably thousands of them, but they don't give a cease and desist to all of them, obviously. So like, what's the method to the madness? How do you hand pick the certain ones that you do take down? And Don basically said that it comes down to two things: money and coverage, like media coverage. So he said initially they don't want to take down fan projects, I guess, according to him. And really, he said, at the end of the day, he doesn't like go out of his way to find these fan projects. But he says that when the media covers these fan projects, so I don't know, when gaming websites post articles of some of these fan projects that go big and go viral, that will lead him to get an email about these fan projects. So that's kind of step one of what gets his attention. But then he said basically they still won't take it down unless he finds out they are then making money from said fan project. So in a nutshell, the media coverage is what gets his attention, or what gets his team's attention. But then what actually makes them, follow through with actually sending a cease and desist is when they see that a fan project that they've noticed is actually making some profit off of the project. I'm kind of seeing a similarity with this and the whole Yuzu thing, because a lot of people, and I think Nintendo specifically, kind of said that with taking down Yuzu, a huge part of it was because of their Patreon. They were getting a profit from it. The main thing I'm seeing here is that Nintendo does not like seeing other people make money off of their own IPs, their own consoles, their own projects. And one way or another, you might see that as justified or not necessarily justified, but that seems to be the main motivator behind Nintendo taking down these fan projects, whether it's, a Pokemon ROM hack or a Nintendo Switch emulator. At the end of the day, it looks like money is their main motivator. I guess we really shouldn't be surprised. I mean, at the end of the day, they are a company. It really is a shame that a lot of these fan projects can just get taken down in what seems like a snap of a finger by Nintendo. I mean, these fan projects, they are very good, and especially with these solo developers. I mean, we're talking hundreds, if not thousands of hours could be poured into these projects, all for them to be taken down. To me, I guess the lesson learned here is that if you're gonna do a fan project, specifically of a Nintendo IP, if you want it to survive, if it gets popular, you gotta either A, not make money from it, or B, alter it enough so that it is its own thing, its own game, rather than just copying off of a Nintendo IP. Like it or not, Nintendo does not like others profiting off of what they see as stealing from their IPs. And something tells me their opinion on that isn't gonna change anytime soon.